Todd, how you doing, my friend?
What is up, my brother? Thanks for
Man,
having me on, Josh.
I'm so excited to finally get you on the podcast here. I know there's a lot of stuff that we get to do, very fortunately, with the top echelon team, but a nice one-on-one with Todd is something that I know every single one of us look to cherish. So I'm really appreciative you took the time out.
Wow, cherish. That's pretty strong, but I appreciate that. No,
It was
good
my
to see you,
word
brother.
of the day dictionary that came up, and so that's the big challenging word for my brain here too. But
Mine was coffee. Yeah.
let's Todd, I know you and I know each other really well, but just maybe for any listeners that are listening in, do you want to give just a quick recap of yourself, kind of history as well, and just tell everyone a quick high level about Top Echelon?
Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. I started at Top Echelon before Josh was born. I've been at Top Echelon for 27 years. Kind of ran the gamut. I was a developer. I was a product guy. I'm kind of leading the support and training department now. But as far as Top Echelon, we're a software company. We've been in the business for 36 years, almost 37. So we're just a tech company that kind of started before tech. We used to print and mail resumes to our network members to help them share their candidates and job orders. But we've just evolved with time and are constantly sniffing out technologies. That's how we got connected with Quill and just endeavor to make the lives of recruiters easier and better and help them fill more orders. That's what we're all about, and we've been doing it for a long time. And connecting with great companies like Quill makes that even easier for us.
Thankfully, I wasn't just born; I was four, so it wasn't too far off. But we're getting there as well. But just to dive into stuff, Todd, as you mentioned, like you've been in the industry for decades. Top Echelon has been in the industry even longer. I'd love to get your perspective on how you've seen like third-party recruiting evolve over the years, and even specifically now with this big industrial change with AI, how the AI is kind of fitting into the evolution or the next evolution of recruiting as you see it.
It's funny. I mean, it's been around since when? 2020, I think, is
Yeah.
when the first started out. And early on, it was it was the beast. Everybody's nervous about it. We can't do that. We can't let it take over. I think as time goes on, Josh, I was looking at one survey. There are it's something like in the neighborhood of 30% of people don't even realize they're using AI in today's business. They don't realize that what they just did was AI. So I think there's a healthy skepticism. I think it's important for us to make sure that what we're doing and what we're saying and what we're putting forth is vetted by us. But I think that skepticism and scary part of it is starting to wane a little bit. I'm sure there's still theorists that think it's going to take over the world and robots are going to kill us and all that good stuff. But I think more and more recruiters are seeing its huge value in assistance, helping, ideation, advice. I read another story where the most common use for general public is therapy. People bouncing ideas off of AI just to say, am I crazy? Is this a stupid idea? And I think that's so cool. I do it a lot myself. So I think over time, it really was a scary, the world is going to end thing. And as people see it and you guys bring forth very level-headed, acceptable, easy instances of what it can do for you, my customer base is gobbling it up. I mean, we still have some old timers that are like, I don't need that. I just need my phone, which is fine too. But we've slowly helped introduce it as something that's just a tool. It's not meant to do your job. It's meant to help you do your job. But I don't know if that even answered the question that you asked, Josh, but that's how I see it, and that's how we push it in here at TE. We want to help. Again, we just want to continue to help our recruiters, our customers, mutual customers, do what they do quicker, easier, faster, and there are so many avenues to do that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's how I see it.
I think one of the really interesting points you mentioned there, Todd, which I think is so true, is that there's so many individuals out there that are using tools that they later realize are actually AI driven. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of it is there's this really fine line between where AI steps in and just the automation term comes in as well. And I think there's a lot of overlap between both of those aspects too. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of people would be surprised just within a lot of the basic systems they're using, even as top echelon evolves and things like that. There's just AI getting driven into it to make it faster, easier to use, more accurate as you're going through your day to day as well. And so
Yeah.
I think it's going to be something where it's just going to continue to get incorporated into our day-to-day aspects. And I think the best use case for it, exactly to your point, is if you don't even know it's being used and you get to keep doing your job. That sounds like a win-win to me, where it's just those annoying pieces that you didn't always love to do are just getting slowly automated away. I remember even we were doing an update months ago for our proposal creator, and there's this crazy long formula that I had to try to figure out to get all the math to work, and I was like, holy crap, I don't know if I know how to do this. I honestly put it into ChatGPT, said, I would like you to make me this formula, plugged it in, and it worked perfectly. And I think there's so many little elements to it, whether it's doing quick formulas, asking questions, even to your point around just having conversations with AI. It's one of the things that I've even used a ton. My wife makes fun of me sometimes because she'll be like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, oh, just ChatGPT, it's all good. And especially with it talking back now, but it's really interesting, to your point, to bounce ideas off of, to get its perspective, and even just asking. I know I saw this prompt not too long ago where you tell it what you want it to be. So I want you to be an expert recruiter with 30 years experience that's done this in the boutique space. What are some opinions that you might have on this? What are some questions that you might ask to get a better opinion about this? And just helping you think through those scenarios. I think that's probably one of the most underutilized ways I've seen a lot of teams very successfully use AI, to your point.
Again, it's kind of it. This survey I read was called therapy,
Yeah.
but it's just getting advice. My wife and I argued about this. We had 4 kids, and early on they said, your kid will be failed if we find out they used AI to write a paper. And she said, yeah, that's just wrong. And I said, is it wrong? I said, when I was in school, when I had a red paper, I went to the public library and I pulled out that encyclopedia and I copy and pasted. I didn't copy and paste. I had to write it down back in the day, So I see it as no different than that. If a kid says, hey, I need to write a term paper about To Kill a Mockingbird. And I read most of it, but I didn't read all, And I think it's a no-brainer. You are using research. It's Google on steroids, if you ask me. But I do it, and I want to jump back a little bit, Josh. The way we've implemented it thus far in TE, we are overt about, hey, this is AI. We're not sort of seamlessly baking it in, because I don't know if it's my customers are older like I am. I want to make sure they know. I don't want them to think that we're sneaking one out the back door there. But I think still you're right. Over time, it will evolve. And if I were to bet on it, I'd say, hey, we could do this for you. You want us to? Well, they're going to say yes. 90% of people are going to say yes. So, I think we're on the same page, Josh. Almost everything I do, if I have even a slight hesitation of I wonder, I don't wonder. I go ask for a thought or opinion, or give me stats. That's my favorite thing to do. Give me statistics on blah. The research side is so easy and so powerful. And as I look at my recruiters as my customers, when I talk to them about it, what are you using it for? Most of them are help me create a better email draft, or take my draft and make it better. Research, summarization, right? Those are just no-brainer things that offer huge amount. I think you guys have a statistic of, I forget what it is, like 3 hours a day can be saved by, right, just summarizing your calls and things. And you're crazy not to. I know that there are people that are nervous about it. Fine, be nervous. I'm going to save the time. I, so that's my shtick. And a lot of my customers ask, should I be using this? The answer is heck yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Why would you not?
Yeah.
You're still responsible for what you're putting out, but why would you not ask a bot or an AI what the stats are? What do most recruiters do? Just like YouTube, how do I fix this thing on my car? Why would you not do that?
Yeah, right? Well, and I think to your point, right, when we're looking at the adoption curve, we're always going to have early adopters and lagging adopters, and some people will fall in the middle. I think the one really interesting trend that we've always seen is that there's always going to be the initial hesitation. Then you start seeing some of the results that are coming out. To your point, like what we're finding on average across our clients is within a weekly basis, they're saving 8 hours per week per recruiter. And that's by summarizing call notes and making the first draft of write-ups. But I think the big piece that especially some of the lagging adopters don't always start to pick up on is that the goal of using AI is not for it to replace your job and to do it for you. It's to augment it. Right. And so when you're thinking about, and I always laugh talking about when I was going in school, especially here in Canada, we had French immersion. So I decided to do a French immersion class instead of an all English. And one of the things that everyone used to do even back then, they would write it in English to French translator, and try to send that into the teacher to get graded. It obviously did not go too well. And it's like that same concept is going to be the exact same if we're trying to use AI. If you just have some random thing that has some of the context to try to create your final report, it's not going to work. And I know I rant all the time around the 10-80-10 principle, where it's like, give it the idea and the prompts of how you want to set up. Let AI put the context in there for you, but finish your work. Make sure it's actually you that's doing the final edits, the final summary to it. And if we adopt that properly, it's going to drastically scale not only how quickly you can make those write-ups. I know Ron and the KB search team have that awesome testimonial. Yeah, it's just like, it's awesome to see how much faster they can get those results out there. And it's just using it, to your point, to augment a lot of that work you're doing, not totally replace. And I think there's so many interesting ideas and ways that teams are looking at using AI. But to your point, Todd, I think the biggest thing that I've always just told people, find one area in your business that you think could be augmented, find a vendor or a system, and try and test it. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. But if we're not testing, if we're not adapting, if we're not evolving as a business, we're not evolving as a business in general. And it's just, as the trend goes, this is that next evolution that's going to help us move so much faster as an industry.
Yeah. And you and I both, our customers rely on geeks like us to nudge them, to kind of give them advice and to push them in one direction or another. And I have been doing it for 27 years. I remember teaching people about buying their own domain. It's just over time they begin to trust you, and the thought is, I don't steer them wrong. There are people that want AI to make placements for them. Let's be honest. There are services out there that are sort of edging that way too. Wrong, right, or indifferent. That's not my flavor. You can go nuts with this thing. I endeavor to stay in the middle and to help people, make incremental changes that can help them. But adopters that want to cut the edge, you can certainly do that, and it's easy to get involved with people like that. And I'm not saying it's wrong. We are like-minded. Our companies have worked so well together because we're like-minded, and we're just trying to save you some time. We want to help you do what you do better, quicker, stronger, faster. So I have enjoyed every minute of eating up this technology, and I wish I had more time to delve and to spend time into how it works and why it works a little more like you. But I've got a real job to take care. I got to do my duties. But I love getting to introduce people to what it can do for them. And you see the lights come on, and they'll share their prompts with me. And you and I have shared some prompts like that over the years. It's a helper. I see it as a consummate helper, a little butler that I can use to help me do some things. That's what I use it for.
I love it. And obviously, Todd, just within the nature of Top Echelon in your customer base, you're obviously working with a lot of like boutique and solo recruiters there as well. And
Yeah.
especially with what you do within customer support and success, you get to look at a ton of vendors, talk to a lot of customers, and see what they're doing. What are some of the great low lift but high impact AI tools that you see a lot of even your customers using that you think are no brainers for a lot of teams, even just to test out on their side?
Yeah, and I'll answer that by sort of giving where we started, right? The tools that we have baked into TE Recruit, not that it's a plug or anything, but it's the same answer. It's most people need help or see efficiency by taking a message that they send a lot and making it suck less, right? That's my common tool. Is it's taking a draft and generating a better version of it. So it really is starting with what they say and then tweak it into something that is better. Obviously, checking it to make sure it's not falsified and hallucinating. But so content generation is where I see the biggest, easiest. Use it now and not be afraid. So TE Recruit does that. It will augment or edit your job description for you. It can write one from scratch, but more often than not, they take one that the HR folks gave them and say, make this better, right? It's very questionable sometimes what HR gives you, so they can tweak it and make it better. Email drafts make it better. The other thing that I preach to my folks is why would you not ask AI for some statistics to add to your sales pitch, right? Hey, AI, I work in the manufacturing sector in the Midwest. Give me some statistics that I can use in my sales pitch that say, here's why you should use a recruiter. So asking for statistical things, I preach that, and I hear them ask that. And then last but not least, the help me source, help me find. How do I find candidates? How do I find businesses that need a recruiter? So those are the things that we get asked the most. Mm-hmm. Can you show me how to do that? Does your software do that? Those are the things, the most common things that I feel like a small to mid-size, but really you could pick that up to enterprise level. Those are the things that recruiters need help with, and it's just low-hanging fruit, easy peasy stuff. To quote the 2000 era moms of the world, use your words. That's all you got to do is use your words. You don't have to speak in technical mumbo jumbo. You just ask it what you want. Speak like you speak, and so that's what recruiters and my customers ask for the most is those kind of avenues, and that's why we started there. Those are the three things that we do: summarize slash help them generate content for a job description and/or emails, and help them source, build a Boolean string that searches their database for them. So
that's
awesome. What we do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Todd, it's been such a pleasure having you on the podcast. I know things are super crazy. If anyone's interested in learning a bit more about Top Echelon, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, just zip on over to topechelon.com, topechelon.com. We offer an ATS. We call it TE Recruit. Used to be called Big Biller. TE Recruit, and it allows you to track your own people, company, and jobs. It's got placement tracking. It's got automation. It's got sequencing. Really the core of what a recruiter, a small to mid-sized recruiting firm needs. Reporting. But it does it, and it does it well. We're one of the most cost-effective on the market, and we'd love to earn your business there. We also have a split network. It's kind of a bolt-on to our ATS. If you are qualified, if you've done split business in the past, we do vet recruiters that want to join our split network. But if you are qualified, you can then take any one, some of, all of, one of your jobs and orders, and share them with about 1,500 recruiters all over the country, a couple in the U.S., Canada, and in Mexico. And they can help you fill those orders, and you can help fill theirs for a split fee. It's really a 50-50 split. You guys split 47-47, and we get 6% as a brokerage fee. That's really what we started 36 years ago and evolved into the ATS. The ATS is our sort of core product now, but the network is still a very powerful and valuable tool that a lot of folks use, and we've got years and years of experience, and we would love to if you are interested in anything like that, come see us at topechelon.com.
We love it, Todd. Well, thank you very much again for jumping on today, and really excited to have you on for the next podcast as well.
Thank you, my brother. Great to see you, sir. See you.